News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Have you seen riots at the grocery store? Did somebody get stabbed over a cucumber left in the produce section? There were people fighting over... My wife has reports from Tom Thumb, one of the many Tom Thumbs in the Metroplex, and a Target. And the Target was in a rougher area. There were people going nuts for freaking, what was it, cilantro. Multiple people were alarmed. They couldn't find cilantro at Tom Thumb. I'm not kidding you. Maybe we'll have her check in later, but right now we want to check in with the one of the best meteorologists possible in the Metroplex and a great friend of the show, the great Jesse Hawila. What did I just say, Jesse? From WFAA.
Nobody knows how to say it. It's okay.
Okay, let me try it again. The great Jesse Hawila from WFAA TV Channel 8 meteorologist. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, my friend. So, I have some things here. Maybe I ask you what's going on first, but let me start with this. I put your name at the top of this document here. It's from WFAA TV Channel 8. I printed it out a little earlier. Your excellent television station, news channel. Dallas, Texas snow forecast, I should say. Why is DFW getting snow? DFW expecting a mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain. What could change the forecast? There's some technical stuff I'll get to you, but to tell me this, sir, are we getting 8 inches like we're hearing in some areas we might get 8 inches, sir? Talk to me. What's going on over here?
So the best chance of that happening will be closer to the Red River where it stays all snow all day long. Mm-hmm. So we expect a wintry mix of rain, sleet, and snow. I don't really see a ton of freezing rain potential for us. Now, there may be a little bit in the Metroplex, but areas north of US 380 and closer to the Red River, that's about where there could be maybe a 6, 7, or 8 inch snowfall total.
Oh my gosh!
I know that's huge for North Texas.
So we're talking like Salina. Are we talking like Salina, Princeton, yeah. McKinney?
Yeah. So yeah, McKinney is in the realm of possibility, and then you go Sherman, Leonard, mm-hmm. those areas up there, Clarksville, Paris, Greenville, even. Those areas have a good chance to see. But yeah, northern Collin County, even northern Denton County could see some 5 or 6 inch totals.
Oh my gosh.
And one of the reasons we're expecting those bigger totals there, besides the fact that it's going to be mainly snow in those areas as compared to the wintry mix to the south, mm-hmm. is that there could be some heavier bands of snow late afternoon and into the evening. When the parent storm system begins its ejection northeast, we kind of get in the right place where we could see some heavier little bursts of snow. So they could really see some decent totals.
So, meteorologist Jesse Hawila, WFAA TV Channel 8. I saw people, like a lot less people driving today when I came in to downtown in the 7 o'clock hour, which really blew me away. So that tells me people are not panicking, but they're at home, they're buying tons of stuff around their neighborhoods, and they're girding themselves, they're bracing themselves, as they say in that series. Yep. What do you anticipate the bad stuff where we would not want to drive coming in by midday tomorrow or afternoon? When is it going to happen? And give me the progression of tomorrow into the night and then Friday into the night.
Yeah, so for timing, what we're thinking now is we expect some scattered sleet, snow, rain mix early in the morning. So we don't expect travel conditions to really worsen until tomorrow afternoon, and certainly by tomorrow night. That's when it'll get worse. So if you have any out and about plans early tomorrow morning, or you need to go, buy toilet paper or whatever you need to do at the store,
buy it all. Even open. Buy all of it, Jesse.
Buy it all. Everybody buy it all and,
yes.
and scalp it.
Yes.
I'm telling everyone now. No sarcasm.
I was selling some toilet paper in the parking lot over here a little earlier.
Yeah. How much did you sell yours for?
$5 per roll, sir.
That's not bad. I was doing 6. Maybe I need to.
I got the Costco roll. Those are actually wider and more pleasant. I'll leave it at that.
I stole mine from the Shell gas station. I couldn't find any in Costco.
I was going to take mine from work over here, but it's like sandpaper, Jesse.
That's how ours is too, man. They don't care about us.
All this prestige and no toilet paper that works. Now we need some help down here. Okay.
That's right.
So are you saying that we go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So early in the morning, we should be all right. It's going to start picking up. So by the way, I'll say if someone do not expect to wake up to a winter wonderland tomorrow morning. That's not going to happen.
Right.
It's going to begin tomorrow morning. And then throughout the afternoon, conditions will worsen. There will be times, and this is where it's really, really tricky, especially if you live along the I-20 corridor or south. It's going to fluctuate between precip types, okay, throughout the day. You may have a period of snow. Then it may transition to a little bit of rain and sleet. Then it may go back into snow, and then it may transition back into some sleet. It's going to go back and forth. It's going to be, 1 degree difference is will have huge implications on who sees what. But the farther south you live, the less your chance of a big snow. But there's a winter storm warning in for the Dallas-Fort Worth area and areas east and north. So that's where we expect the most wintry weather to happen. And again, morning, not too bad. Afternoon, not great. Tomorrow night, that's when conditions will be the absolute worst, will be tomorrow night.
So when I'm driving home tomorrow night, I will need my snowmobile.
You will need your snowmobile, your snowshoes.
Snowshoes,
man.
Absolutely. The chains on my tires, the snow chains.
Oh yes, because the elevations. Yeah. We know how big those elevations.
Those steep inclines. So basically, are you kind of saying that we really should attempt to stay off the road starting tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah, I think that would be for the best, and that would give crews, and really it's for our crews too, who work around the clock around the city in the Metroplex to clear the roads and salt and brine. It'll give them more ease of access to the roads to clean things up a little bit. And one thing I do want to remind people, so this will end overnight Thursday. So Friday morning is likely to be bad travel, okay? And then Friday afternoon, we'll likely see improvements because things will start to melt because we expect a high in the upper 30s.
Okay.
So we'll get above freezing. So that should really start to improve a lot of some of the heavily traveled roads. I still think neighborhoods will be kind of messy.
Right.
But just don't forget, especially if you're traveling early Saturday morning, when that stuff melts, it's going to refreeze Friday night. There could be black ice Saturday morning.
Yes, so really what it sounds like you're saying to be safe is don't drive Thursday afternoon into Thursday night, nor into Friday morning. By Friday midday to afternoon, it'll hit at some point between midday and afternoon Friday, it'll hit above freezing, which should thaw out the roads. But then as soon as it gets dark, is that about right? It'll go below freezing roughly, and then you're in the same position of being very dangerous, possibly.
Nailed it. Yeah, and sometimes that gets more dangerous because people don't see it.
Yes.
Because it's not it's not like the white shiny snow. It becomes just a clear layer of ice on the blacktop. So it's
Now, have you driven? Where are you from originally? Because I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Chicago, so I can drive through this stuff. And I'm not doing it with bravado, Jesse. I'm just saying, you're totally from 16 to whatever I was. I was in the Midwest, and I worked in the Midwest like you probably did, going up and down your tour like a rock band as you were climbing your way up to weather the ladder, just like I did in the radio ladder. So I don't know if you did a tour of the Midwest states or if you're from any of them or the Northeast.
I did. I'm originally from Houston. And then I got my license, and I went in high school and college in Indiana.
Indiana.
So,
Where in Indiana? Where?
So I went to high school in Newcastle, Indiana, and I went to college at Ball State University.
Oh, that's a great school. Isn't that where John Mellencamp, his drummer, he teaches some stuff? Or isn't that where he's in the Ball State area, isn't he?
I think he's in the IU area.
Oh, IU, you're right. Indiana University. Sorry about
David
that.
Letterman, but you might be thinking David Letterman.
He's there. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, you were there, and then?
Oh yeah, I worked. So I got my first job in Lafayette, Indiana. My second job in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I drove. Listen, I remember one particular blizzard in Fort Wayne where we had 18 inches of snow, and I had a Honda Civic. I was just fine, just like you were in Chicago.
I was
fine.
I was in Minneapolis. I mean, and that's where the Alberta Clipper, dude. Like, I didn't even know. I heard of those things, but I got hit by one night. I'm like, oh my freaking God. And so I was in, I had my, I was driving and I was actually having fun because there were so few people on the road. There's like a foot of snow on the highway. And I was driving around like I was in a boat or something, like a jet ski, having fun on the, you know, on the highway. But I'm not going to do that now. I'm not going to do that now because I'm older and I've been here for so long.
You got to be more careful.
Yes. Jesse Hawila. Yes, go ahead, sir.
No offense, Texas drivers. I love you. I'm a Texan myself. We don't know how to do the snow.
No. One last thing. I was in Atlanta doing a show after I was in Minneapolis, and somebody said, well, you can drive on the snow up there because your snow is crunchy. And she was serious. I was like, I laughed so hard. There's no truth to that, is there, sir?
No, I don't even know what she's talking about.
Exactly.
No.
I appreciate you, Jesse. We'll talk to you in about an hour. One more chance to check in, see if it changes at all. I appreciate you very much. We'll talk to you soon, brother. There goes Jesse Hawila, WFAA TV Channel. Thank you, sir. Talk to you real soon. All right, there he goes. All right. So we'll talk to him in 1 hour with an update on that. And we're going to be talking to some other guests, too. We're going to talk to, at 8:45, Atmos Energy, our gas. Is that going to be okay? And by the way, I'm thinking about, I don't know about you, I'm thinking about 4 years ago when we had the power rolling blackouts and everything, and Winter Storm Uri, I think it was. Who calls it that? Nobody calls it that. Nobody even knows what that means. But that's what it was, I guess. Anyway, and the gas fireplaces that many of us have didn't do a darn thing. You had to sleep within like 5 feet of it and almost get burnt. If you were going to feel anything, and your backside was freezing. Okay, coming up next, we're going to get into how are you preparing for the morning snowstorm or the midday or afternoon snowstorm, whatever you're going to call it. How are you preparing for the snowstorm? Are we making too big of a deal out of this? Not we meaning the station, but people in general. Do you have to go into work? All that and so much more. Pandemonium at the store. What are you seeing? Has anybody gotten knifed over a box of rice or something? All that's coming up next on the Chris Crock Show. Lines wide open. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. 800-288-WBAP. Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. So I was talking to my wife. She went to, as I mentioned, Tom Thumb and Target, and she said that people are starting to panic a little bit. And she said that she started panicking because everybody else is panicking and buying all sorts of stuff. And so she's like, I started, what do I got to buy? I said, what do I got to buy? What do I have to buy? She was saying to me that it was like all of a sudden she started thinking, maybe I have to buy more and more. What do I need? What could happen? She's seen people buy up firewood. We have somebody in our family that our extended family that works at Walmart, and she said they bought up all sorts of stuff, all the eggs, all the milk, and stuff like that, and the water. Firewood's gone. I mean, this. My wife made a good point. This is 24 hours. It's like a Thursday afternoon to Friday afternoon kind of a thing. And you would think we have the apocalypse coming, but that's okay. So that's one of my questions. Are we making too big of a deal out of this? Do you have to go into work? I do. Not tonight, because tonight's not the problem. Although I'm going to tell you right now, the traffic was so barren tonight. It was unreal how quick it was to get in. But tomorrow, do you have to go into work tomorrow? What are your plans on that? Are you going to try to, call in sick, make something up? I don't know. Pandemonium at the store. What are you stocking up on today? What did you buy at the store, and what did you see shortages of? So much more we'll get into in just a sec. We have 4 lines open. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Gregory in South Lake, you are on WBAP. Hello.
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good. I'm fully prepared. I do one big grocery shop a month at the end of the month for the next month. So end of December, I bought all my January groceries. I'm set. I've got batteries. I've got chargers. I've got my faucet's running right now at a trickle because it's about 3 degrees below freezing here in South Lake right now.
You should have your faucets full blast.
Yeah, right.
Full blast, sir. Full blast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'll take that under advisement.
Yes, sir.
But anybody, I'm retired, so I can stay home. And but I do feel for anybody that's had to drive in this kind of stuff, because I did. I moved here in '89 from New York. I spent 3 years in Syracuse, which was like living on the ice planet of Hoth.
Yes.
And I mean, it snowed there in May. So, yeah.
Yes, May. Wow.
In May. Yeah, 1 year it snowed in May. And I lived in Baldwinsville, which was just outside of, I think it was Oneida Lake. And we used to get the lake effect snow.
Yes.
So,
that's intense. We had that in Chicago, too, because, come right in off the lake.
Yep.
Okay, so you're not worrying about that. So are you going to be driving tomorrow or the next day? Are you staying home? You going to batten down the hatches?
I'm locked down and ready to go. So,
all right, you got your ammo? You got your guns loaded, too?
Hey, right here.
There you go.
All set to go.
All right, my friend, don't get stabbed over produce if you have to make a last-minute run to the store tomorrow, okay?
Nah, no problem. Hey, you be safe.
Okay, you too, brother. Thank you. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. How do you feel about if you do have to go to work tomorrow? How do you feel about having to go into work? And if you do have to go into work tomorrow and Friday, what kind of work do you do? And as I said, how do you feel about having to go into work? And are you mad at your boss for making you go into work if that's what has to happen? And what are you going to be doing differently than your normal routine tomorrow? Are you staying home? I will not be. It'll kind of be a normal routine for me. I did tell the kids, 18 to 21, I'm like, do not make any plans to go anywhere because you will not want to be on those roads. Cancel your plans, et cetera, et cetera. 800-288-WBAP is our number. I've got so much more. I've got driving as well. This is great. We have not a diagram, but a lengthy piece written by the Star Telegram today. First time driving in the ice and snow in Texas? Follow these tips. How about if it's your first time, you just don't drive? Coming up next, we'll talk to Tink in Granbury, who is very prepared. Plus your call. We have 3 lines open. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. But I'll get you those driving tips from the Star Telegram. This is going to be fun. All that coming up next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. DISD in just about every school district I can count has canceled classes for Thursday. I would be surprised if they didn't cancel it for Friday too, but I don't know. That's all we know is tomorrow looks like most, if not all, are closed that we're aware of, that I'm aware of. Shoppers stocking up on food, winter weather supplies. My wife said people were starting to get a little pandemonium and panicking a little bit, and so she started to panic a little bit at the store. Bottled water, milk, eggs, cereal, bread, peanut butter, paper goods. Why are we doing this? Should we be doing this? I don't know. Next thing we're going to hear is somebody got punched out at the produce aisle, the toilet paper aisle. I don't know. What's wrong with us, guys? It makes me think about that time when people were panicking, thinking there was going to be a gas shortage. And so what did? They went and bought all the gas up they could in the Metroplex, causing a shortage. Any one of us, not any one of us, but on any given day or weekend, we could have a run on gas leading to a shortage on gas just because people all went out and got gas. Because that's just not the normal stock, if you will, instead of people just going when they need it. So this is another situation where humanity, you get a little taste of, there's really good people, and you get a taste of also there's really a lot of bad people out there, when the stuff hits the fan. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Adam in Granbury, you are on WBAP. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Chris?
What's up?
Hey, no, not much. I just was thinking about, I agree with you completely, how ridiculous it is. I'm a Northerner. I'm a Yankee. I've been here for 10 years, but, closing school before the snow falls is kind of nuts to me. But anyway, there is also a factor of trusting the weathermen, because how do we trust anything that the media says anymore?
Well, the only thing I would say is the weatherman is, other than promulgating the lie of climate change, that hoax.
Right.
Other than that, and that really is the Weather Channel, the founder who has now deceased, literally disowned his former product company that he sold for going to the leftists and making all the climate hoax up. I don't trust the Weather Channel at all unless they're not mentioning or getting into that stuff. But I think the average local weather folks, if you're not talking about the climate hoax, then I think that they can be trusted only because the bias is what? I mean, it's the weather's bad, the weather's good. What do you predict for the weather? Does that make sense?
But like what? Yeah, but what? You get to be right 50% of the time or less.
So what do you want to do about this then? Should we just not have weather people?
No, I don't think that. I'm a firm believer in the Farmer's Almanac and looking at trends, weather patterns, and things like that. But Texas is an anomaly, right? You don't have the mountains on either side to tell you exactly what's going to happen and yada yada yada. But I think it's interesting because you could not a day ago we were thinking about 12 inches of snow.
Yes. And then today I heard something. I'm reading a lot of stuff, and I read all of a sudden that now it's kicked up to 8 inches, but for 12 inches then 8 inches. But then now it might only be if you're above 380 and stuff. So we don't know exactly what's going to go down. But look, let me ask you this: where in the Midwest are you, or the North are you from?
Nebraska. Lincoln specifically.
So you know exactly what time it is when it comes to weather, snow and ice and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, and tornadoes. All that stuff. I don't know hurricanes, which is totally okay with me.
Yeah, exactly. Can you understand why it is hard for people that don't have snow, but maybe once a year or twice a year for a day or two? Why it is a difficult thing for a lot of people to handle?
Not really, kind of, because when I was 16, I was new to driving, and driving on that surface was foreign to me. But then still, you got to get out there and do it, and you have to have the right vehicle, of course. All-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and that's another thing that's a distinction between the Yankees and down here is that there's a lot of rear-wheel drive vehicles
here. Or up there?
Yeah. Oh, no, down here. Rear-wheel drive is terrible in the snow. Yeah.
I don't know. I there's a lot more, I think, pickup trucks and SUVs, I think. But, I think it's a mix. But here's the thing.
Like, how many of those F-150s did they decide not to spend the money on to get the four-wheel drive, and they got the rear-wheel drive?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. But here's what I do want to say. I think that, first of all, I understand why we don't have tons of salt and snow plows and all that kind of stuff as much as we do in the north, because it's not worth it. Are you going to spend $1 billion just to take? Yeah. You're going to spend. I'm just making up a number. You're going to spend $1 billion to cover the Metroplex for 1 or 2 or 3 days out of a year. And number two, our roads. Our roads are totally different. And I didn't know much about this, but earlier on, but they're different because so our roads can't handle salt like they do in the north. They're not meant to, and that's why we have those tiny little flyovers that are scary when you first get here. They're really scary. They're like high up in the air, like a racetrack. Like your little old electric race car you used to have. It's like, oh my god, and you're up there, you're so scared. You're like, if I fly off this thing, I'm freaking dead. But you get used to it. You just don't look over the edge while you're driving. But we don't have that in the north, and that's because the roads are different. Then they have a lot of sand. They get a lot of salt, and they get beat up, and your car gets eaten alive with rust.
We've got curbs in the north on everything, so if you do start to swerve off the road, you're going to hit the curb before you hit like a ditch.
I remember one time, I'm thinking, kind of flashing back to when I, was in college, and I was stupid and careless because I was used to driving in the snow. I was on the highway one time going down to college, just me and myself and I in the car, and I lost control. I did a full spin out, and I went poof into a massive pile of snow, like a massive, like from the snowplows shoving it up. And I remember that and going, oh my gosh, I'm fine. But it was like the scariest thing in the world. I literally slammed my whole side of my car into poof snow, and it was pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Well, it's all winter fun, and we get it like once or twice a year. I've been here for 10 years, so
yeah.
I think everybody better just slow down, and it'll be all right.
I'm going to get into the driving stuff in a little bit. Thanks for your call, Adam. I appreciate you out of Granbury. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. What will you be doing differently than your normal routine tomorrow? Are you mad at your boss for making you go in if you do have to go in? And did you see pandemonium at the store? Well, we're going to be talking also about driving stuff, driving habits. I'll hit on a few, but we're going to pause. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Atmos Energy because I want to see what the concerns are for gas with the cold weather. Are there any concerns we need to be aware of? What do we need to look for? Do we need to worry about our gas having any issues in this very cold weather that's hit us and very cold for us? So we're going to talk to Atmos coming up next as well, and then we're going to get right into the ice and snow. I love that the Star Telegram literally give us driving tips. I actually love that. We can make fun of some. We can also agree with some. So we'll talk about that too. For example, slow down. Speed limits are based on normal road conditions, obviously, and weather conditions, not winter road conditions. Oh, how many idiots are you and I going to see flying by going 50 or 60 on a highway instead of 30 or 40 at least because it's just too slippery. I see it all the time. And sometimes, in a rare occasion, I'll see a car fly off the side of the road, or you'll see it way up and it passes you, and then you pass it by 5-10 minutes later and you're like, there's that car, there was that idiot, he flew off the thing. And I want to give you another warning. Just because you have a truck, just because you have a four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, I have all-wheel drive cars, both of them. Just because you have all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive or SUV or a truck or, knobby tires and all that, doesn't mean you're not going to fly off the road. Rubber on ice is the exact same, whether it's knobby or not. Rubber on ice. You are no better off on ice with a truck than you are with a car. Doesn't matter. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. You want to pop this guy on real fast here or no? Okay. We'll pop on one person first here before we go to, we'll talk to Atmos coming up next. Let's talk to Scott in Canton. You're on WBAP. Hey, Scott.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, brother?
Well, I got to work tomorrow. I live in Canton, but I work in Lancaster.
That is a drive, dude.
Yeah, it's a pretty good drive. It's an hour drive each way.
I don't understand you guys, all you guys that drive like that every day. That's insane.
Well, you gotta make
a living, right?
Gotta make a living.
So
gotta feed the family.
Why exactly right? Why do you what do you do that you have to drive in? And is your boss giving you any leniency or no?
Well, he's giving me a lien if I can't make it. He says it's not going to count against me, but I got to make it. I got to get my hours. I work for a brick company, and I'm a machinist.
Interesting.
So, and we make cement bricks, so you can't mix cement when it's below freezing.
Interesting.
So when the brick machines are down, then the maintenance goes in and takes parts out and puts new parts in, and I have to machine new parts.
So you're going to be doing that tomorrow?
All day long.
All day long. All right, so you're driving. What is your normal schedule driving in, driving home? Because you might be just fine going in, but going back is going to be a pain.
Well, I leave the house in the morning about 4:30.
Oh, you're fine in the morning, yeah.
Yeah, I get home about 5:30 in the evening.
That's going to be, you might have double the time on your commute home. I don't know.
That's fine. I've driven on this stuff since I was 16.
Here in the Metroplex or in the North Texas?
I've lived here in Mesquite, Texas my whole life. In a rear-wheel drive, no front wheel, no all-wheel.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
78 Caprice Classic. Just take it out on the ice and learn how to steer into your skid. And
I will tell you this. Even though I was a Midwest guy from Chicago, when I got a job, my first full-time on-air radio job doing mornings in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which is straight 90 miles straight east of Minneapolis, I was told we had a Hummer, but like not the Hummer you get at the dealership, the real ones. There was a station vehicle. It was turned from a military vehicle into an official station vehicle. And they said to me, you're going to go to this university, and you're going to play with you and your co-host are going to play a softball tournament on the ice, and you're going to take that Humvee, the much heavier. Remember, the military one is such a beast. You're going to take that Humvee, and you're going to drive it on the lake, and you're going to play a softball tournament on the lake with that car. I drove that massive Hummer on a lake, and I was terrified. I mean, I was terrified that I would fall through, but it is that cold up there, as you would imagine.
How old were you then?
I was 27, probably.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe 20, and I was terrified. I'm like, oh my gosh! It was my only music station, that crappy music. Yeah. Anyways, I gotta roll. You gotta roll. But listen, drive safe tomorrow.
Bro,
okay.
You keep going. I love y'all. I love your station.
We love you too, brother. Thank you very much. All right, coming up next, Atmos Energy. What's the situation with our gas? What are the concerns with the cold weather and that we need to be worried about? All that coming up next. Plus, we'll get into driving. Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3, 800-288 WBAP is our number. When it gets really, really cold and when we worry about our power going out, a lot of people were getting, actually all the firewood was bought out from one of our extended family members, works at Walmart in the Metroplex, one of the Walmarts. There's a million of them, works at one of them. And in, what was that? It's Collin County, I believe. And all the firewood's gone. And people just cleared that place out. So, one of the things that we are concerned about not only is power, huge, but gas, whether it be for cooking, for our water heater, right? Or for our fireplace, should we need it. And I wanted to talk to Nick Pitts from Atmos Energy to tell us, he's the director of communications with them, what they are keeping their eyes out for and what we need to know about any possibilities with gas being affected with the bad weather coming. Nick, how are you, sir? And thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, great. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Welcome back to WBAP. So tell me, sir, what do we have on tap? What are you guys doing to get ready for it? And what do you have anything for us to keep our eyes out or noses out for, to smell or to keep our eyes out for?
Yeah. So many of our neighbors are making their way to Walmart to get firewood or going to their grocery stores to prep up for the winter weather over these next couple of days. What we've been doing is for year round, we have been preparing for winter weather. It's a 365-day preparation process for us. And, as the forecast is calling for these cold temperatures and some winter weather in the coming days, we're closely monitoring the forecast, and we've already staged our employees across our system to be there to safely and reliably serve the natural gas our customers have come to count on. But one of the key ways that you can continue to partner with us in this is that we are going to be communicating regularly with our customers and communities before, like now, during, and after these extreme weather events. And you can sign up for text alerts and also receive the latest information. Just make your way over to atmosenergy.com, click that Account Center tab, and you can manage your notification preferences once you signed in. You can also check out the Storm Center page on our website, as well as our social media feeds, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
So, Nick, what are the things we should be looking out for as far as gas when the severe weather hits us to be safe? And what are concerns about Atmos being able to provide gas when it comes to, we might have heavy, I know you're not power lines, but heavy snow, heavy ice accumulations and stuff. How can that affect gas? And as I said, how can we make sure that we're doing our part to what should we be aware of that could get dangerous when it comes to gas with bad weather?
Yeah, a great question. Safety is our number one priority at Atmos Energy. It's driving everything that we do. And one of the ways that you can stay safe during this cold snap is there's just following a few tips. The first being never use an oven or a gas stovetop to heat your home.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Make sure your external vents for dryers and other natural gas equipment are clear. Those blocked vents can lead to dangerous buildup and some issues that could arise from that. You want to minimize the risk of frozen pipes. I'm sure all your listeners that they're leaking their faucets, running them out of trickle, leaving cabinet doors open, and closing all those doors and windows to keep the heat inside. You can protect those natural gas meters by removing the snow and ice from them with a broom or brush. You never want to kick or chip that snow away with a hard object. And if you have an issue with your meter, please reach out to us at our emergency number, which is manned 24/7, and that number is 866-322-8667. And these are just a few tips, and there's more available, again, on our Storm Center page at atmosenergy.com.
So are you guys anticipating any issues with gas supply, with gas as far as over the next 48 hours with the storm coming in, as far as you're aware?
We are ready, and over the past couple of days, we've continued to meet to review our 365-day preparations, and we believe that we are ready. But we also know that when it's safe to do so, there are effective ways for customers to be able to save energy and money by lowering your temperature to 68 degrees. Some other tips are you can reduce shower and bath time. That can account for about 40% of your home's hot water use. And if you have a pool, instead of that pool heater, run your pool pump during the coldest part of the day to circulate water. What's interesting? Everybody like myself, if you have if the power goes out, which hopefully it won't this time, we're not hearing that's going to be likely. But if the power goes out, you got gas. You might have a gas fireplace like I do. But it was interesting because really you're only warm within like a 3 foot, 4 foot radius of that. That does not really heat up a home that way, does it? Yeah, you want to be very cautious, and I think that that's why one of the big things that we always press is that there's a propensity for some. Unfortunately, we hear it every season that individuals will use their oven or their gas stove top to heat their home, and we just want to warn against that right now. Why?
What can happen? And then we'll let you go because I know you got to go. I got to go here, but.
Yeah, you want to use your equipment for its intended use, right? And so I'm wanting to make sure that I'm using all the equipment, not just my gas stove top, but whether it's my fireplace or my TV. I'm wanting to make sure I'm using it for its intended use. And when you use it outside its intended use, it can have deleterious effects.
Yes, that's a nice. I like that word, deleterious. That's a nice word, Nick. That's a $50 word. I like it.
So yeah, I almost failed my driver's test, and I did struggle in kindergarten. But that's
Dude, you're a riot. Nick, I appreciate you, my friend.
Great to be with you.
Take care.
Thanks so much.
That was good. Tip your weights. Just try the veal. Nick will be with you all night, ladies and gentlemen. Sure, that guy is great. He was really darn good, too. There we go. A little rim shot. Okay, coming up next, driving. No. Coming up next, we're going to get the latest forecast from Jesse Hawila, who is a wonderful friend of the show. We love the guy. He's so funny. WFAA TV Channel 8 meteorologist. We'll talk to him. Then we're going to talk to you about driving. We have driving tips. Ooh, all that next. Chris Crock Show. News Talk 820 WBAP. Now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227.